In the Old West, the American frontier was rapidly pushing westward in the late 1800s, as thousands of settlers searched for new opportunities and a better life. In mining communities like Granite, in isolated towns like Tombstone, and in the rugged landscapes near Deadwood. Each town had its own unique history and character, shaped by the resilience and determination of the pioneers, those miners, prospectors, entrepreneurs and outlaws who dared to venture into uncharted territory in search of fortune. And the image of a steam locomotive charging across the vast expanses of the American frontier remains an iconic representation of this pivotal era in the nation's history. G'day, I'm Stephen Spry, and today, using Transport Fever 2, you can play a crucial role in shaping the course of American history and transforming the wild, wild, wild West into a land of opportunity and prosperity. Woohoo! Yeehaw! Oh, we're looking at a great Transport Fever 2 save game that captures the Old West period beautifully. And it certainly is beautiful. The scenery on this map is absolutely stunning. The creator has done a brilliant job with the landscaping, the mesas, canyons, river valleys, desert scenes, etc. It feels just what I imagine the Old West would be like. Now, it is just a small 1-to-1 map save game with only a small 36 meg download size. And that means, of course, it will run well on your average computer. Even with all of the 36 required mods enabled. Yeah, that's the problem. The list of required items is extensive. It'll take some time to download all of them, and it's a bit of a chore subscribing to them one at a time with no one-click collection available, but it is well worth it because you'll have a great time checking out all the features here. There's lots to investigate, because this is the map where I learned actually how to use the Spitzkehre and Freestyle Industries mods, which is something I now use in every game I've played since. So we've just had a quick look at the portal, the eastern portal near Tombstone, where we can set up our trains to bring the essential supplies of conmat and food and equipment for the local gold mines and isolated towns, while also transporting valuable products, i.e. steel in this case, to markets in the east. Look, this is absolutely brilliant. This Old West save game is just perfect for checking out how all of this works, including many other things, including Ys at stations, a gigantic yard setup, a great steam loco service facility, and oh my gosh, there's an old western town, some great detailing on a coal mine, several stunning oases, and even a Bavarian town, to name just a few. Now, just up the line from the portal is the iconic town of Tombstone, which epitomises the spirit of the Old West expansion. Founded in 1879, Tombstone quickly gained a notoriety for its rich silver mines and its reputation as a rough and tumble frontier town. The arrival of the railroad in 1880 brought in much-needed supplies and equipment for the mines, while also transporting valuable ore to markets in the east. The railroad helped transform Tombstone from a small mining camp into a bustling community that attracted a diverse mix of settlers, prospectors and entrepreneurs. And of course, some legendary events, including the gunfight at the OK Corral in 1881. I couldn't find the corral on this map anywhere, so maybe that's something you could add. This infamous shootout between the Earp brothers and the Clanton-Maclaury gang symbolises the lawlessness and violence that characterised many frontier towns during the Wild West era. In-game, we've got 80-metre freight and passenger platforms set up the Tombstone railway station. We are, however, missing some engine service facilities here that you should really add in-game for water, sand and coal. Leaving Tombstone, the railroad winds slowly northward along a spectacular narrow river canyon. Past some gruesome reminders of how harsh this environment was for early explorers. I've added a passing loop here because there was only one on the track right next to that water tower. And just a little bit further up the line, there's an abandoned farm and water wheel on the other side of the river. Wonder what their story is. Next up is the only original passing loop on this section of line. And off to the right, well, there's a small canyon which promised riches for someone, but unfortunately appears to now only home yet another abandoned miner's cottage. Around the next bend, the desert landscape opens up with a large expanse of inland lake. And nestled on the shores of that lake is an old Western-style town, complete with a church, a saloon, a post office, and, of course, a sheriff. Oh, wait, what the hell is that? Ooh, the hangman's gallows provides an ominous reminder that the sheriff here was not to be trifled with. Our train continues through the desolate desert landscape as we head towards our next destination, the small village of Bandera, a town that truly embodies the spirit of the Old West. Dubbed the cowboy capital of the world, modern-day Bandera is steeped in cowboy culture, with modern-day attractions, events and experiences that celebrate the rich heritage of the American West. From dude ranches and rodeos to old Western reenactments and honky-tonks, Bandera offers visitors a chance to step back in time and immerse themselves in the rugged, romantic world of the cowboy. Looks like we just met the Tombstone passenger train just leaving the platform. On this map, Bandera contains short 80-metre platforms for passenger and freight services at its railway station. Moving right along, just outside of Bandera, we pass the junction with the other existing main line that heads south, up the side of the treacherous mesa, towards the mining town of Granite. But for now, continuing westward, our freight train is about to make a delivery in the gigantic yard, so typical of the centres chosen to be freight hubs in the Old West. And look, there's the oil train heading back up to Granite. Maybe this yard is a bit big for the 1890s, but, well, it's not hard to imagine it being so large 100 or so years later. And just over to the right is a pretty neat steam engine service facility. Meanwhile, let's join the passenger service from Granite for the final leg of the journey into our main town of Deadwood, which emerged as yet another testament to the transformative power of the railroad during the Old West expansion. Now, the original town of Deadwood in the Black Hills of South Dakota was founded in 1876 following the discovery of gold in the region. The arrival of the railroad in 1890 further solidified Deadwood's position as a thriving western town, facilitating the movement of people and goods to and from this once isolated settlement. The railroad played a significant role in shaping Deadwood's colourful history, which is rife with tales of legendary figures such as Wild Bill Hickok, Calamity Jane and Wyatt Earp. The diverse mix of characters that passed through here during its heyday was in part a result of the opportunities presented by the railroad, which attracted individuals from various backgrounds seeking their fortunes in the Old West. The main processing industries for the map are located conveniently nearby. These include a steel mill, conmat plant, chemical plant, goods factory, and the oil and fuel refineries, all of which have their own freight sidings. Let's head back east a little, past the Deadwood freight yard, before branching off to join the southern line to Granite. Now this line slowly climbs over 100 metres, precariously along the edge of the mesa, in places with 7.5% grades, the maximum the game allows. So things will be slow in places. Unfortunately, the bridges used here are from the North American Bridges mod, which technically doesn't work until the 1920s, so these should really be replaced with Mad Hatter's old wooden bridges. And the speed-restricted track used slows us down even more. Again, this line has only one passing loop, so more will be needed as you add more trains. At the summit of the climb is a rather beautiful, isolated oasis, which is just up the canyon from an Indian village. And nearby, there's yet another reminder of the harshness of this landscape, with another broken down carriage. And then we begin our descent down to the fourth main town on our map, the mining town of Granite, Montana. Granite was another town that flourished during the Old West expansion, thanks in part to the arrival of the railroad. Founded in 1885 as a mining camp, Granite quickly grew into a bustling community as prospectors flocked to the area in search of valuable minerals, including silver, copper and gold, which of course explains why there are crude oil wells by the gallon nearby. And maybe a reason to play with one of the various industry mods available, which includes silver. So let's have a look around Granite. Further east, 400 metres up in the forested region, is another non-functional town, this time with a Bavarian theme. You could imagine some European settlers gathering together and rebuilding a township which reminded them of home. A freight station is set up here for timber, goods and food, and all you've got to do is connect it with a new train line. Good luck with that. Another non-functional town has been built for miners that work at the coal mine, some 300 metres above the valley floor to the north of Granite. Again, this area has a railway yard set up with a Y for turning the locomotives, and again, all you have to do is connect it to the rest of the train network, so you can bring the coal down to the Deadwood train depot and steel factory. Finally, let's have a quick look at the fifth town on our map, Baton Rouge. Yeah, that's a little bit out of place historically as far as the Old West is concerned, being the capital of Louisiana. Baton Rouge didn't really play a significant role in the traditional Wild West narrative, and, well, it would probably not have had the cowboys and gold miners that we typically associate with the Wild West. So maybe you could rename this town with another name more appropriate to the era? Elsewhere on our map, there's a stone quarry. And an ore mine? Both are located at the ends of some twisting canyons, making them very hard to reach from Deadwood, which needs their raw resources. Adding new routes to these mines will be a great challenge to make those routes profitable. Good luck with that. But don't be tempted to take the very expensive shortcut and simply just tunnel through those mountainous barriers. No, that's cheating. So, what do you think of this save game from Goat Rodeo Gaming? Let me know in the comments, and let me know if you'd like to see a playthrough on this map. Does this Old West save game capture the spirit of the American frontier in the late 1800s? Well, that's a resounding yes from me. The landscape, although not historically correct for the locations featured, it's just extremely well done, with some significant challenges for track laying. The starting railroad infrastructure will provide you with great learning opportunities discovering how things can work using Spitzkehres, Wise and Freestyle Industries. In fact, I now use all of those mods and techniques on every map I play with. They are a standard part of my game. Now, with this map, sandbox mode is needed as money is very tight. You've got less than $500,000 to start with. Oops. But anyway, you'll need sandbox mode because, well, you'll want to add more outposts in numerous spots to help with the game. It is only a small map, but the required mods and assets needed are numerous, and a one-click collection would have been useful. But overall, it's well worth downloading just to have a look at it and work out how the hell Goat Rodeo Gaming actually did stuff. But, and there's always going to be a but. My only other real complaint about this map, I wasn't too fussed about the inclusion of the North American Bridges mod, because, well, it's 1896 and you can't build any new ones or modify the existing ones until 1920. So the old wooden trestle bridges from Mad Hatter would have been more appropriate here in 1896. I do, however, have a complaint or two about the game engine itself. The town buildings, they're stone, which is, not necessarily appropriate to the wild Old West. And the vegetation in those towns, strangely enough, it's not the dry vegetation you'd expect to see with a dry map. So there you go. Have fun playing this map, and make sure you like and subscribe. And again, please let me know what you thought about this in the comments, as I'd love to know what you are thinking. Until next time, it's hooroo from me, and it's a goodbye from him. Cheers for now.